Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Are you guys ready? Okay, let's serve Uganda. As promised, we deliver. We are redefining the social media narrative, asking tough questions and holding your leaders accountable. We are non-partisan and break dawn having a conversation with Uganda.
We are the Mighty Drive. We hold debates that give you viable solutions. We bring to you people that Ivora is wanting to listen to. We are gender sensitive and give space to the unheard voices. Not forgetting the quote of the day.
We are live on our social media platforms, The Alternative Uganda on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter from Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Don't miss the debate behind the wheels and studios.
I am Edgar Matthew Karuhanga.
And Princess Luwe Delidian.
Expect in-depth analysis, credible, factual and authentic information. We are the Alternative Dig Talk.
Real issues, real talk.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Yes, government orders for the dismissal of medical interns who are not willing to return back to hospitals for the strike that happened 2 weeks ago. Now the intern and the medical intern doctors and the pre-intern doctors as well confirm that they Yes, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As I was telling you, that Uganda has come with a challenge of the medical interns and the system itself. Now, the government of the Republic of Uganda has informed all hospitals, government hospitals at that, to say that all medical interns who are still on strike should not return to these hospitals, and it was urging the pre-medical interns to come and take over the mantle, who have also said they cannot continue from a void where the different stakeholders who have been there, the medical interns have stopped, and they say it's after the clarification of these medical interns that they will also return back to their government hospitals. Now, in other stories, we also have the G7 summit that was held in Liverpool, England, that has come out to say one thing is for sure: Russia, if you dare to invade Ukraine, you're going to be having bizarre conflicts and consequences. And of course, when we cross over to the United States, tornadoes have rocked the 6 states in this particular country, killing more than 90 people as for today. That is tornadoes for you. And lastly, Samuel Eto'o, the epitome of African success, in fact, I'm saying African footballing success, is now the president of the Cameroon Football Federation. Those are the news stories that we'll be talking about this time round on the Mighty Global News Updates. My name is Karuhanga Edgar Matthew. I'm in the proud company of Mr. Rogers Turiahawe and Mr. Desire, as well as Teddy Tenjo, who is my producer, Jeremiah Muchibi, who is the director, and of course, the program's director right here at the Alternative TikTok, Mr. Arnold Mokose Anthony. Good morning from where you're watching from. It is always a pleasure to have you right here on the Mighty Drive every Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. As we promised, we break down having a conversation with this country, redefining the social media narrative and telling you stories from the comfort of the palm of your hands. Very, very good morning for everybody who's watching us from wherever you are watching from. Amachama lungi buli omu atwegasseko olunaku olwaleero. Page gy'oliko bagita The Alternative Uganda, omukutu gwe bayita The Alternative TikTok. Tuli wano nga tunyumyamu emboozi naawe nga twabasuubiza nti buli Monday paka ku Friday atubeerawo wano ne tunyumyamu emboozi nammwe ne tulaba engeri gye tunaakyusaamu lino eggwanga. Amannya nze bampita Edgar Matthew Karuhanga, era wendi wano okubanga nkuweereza. Kya ssanyu nnyo okubanga onneegasseeko olunaku olwaleero. Alternative TikTok mukutu ogwa TV ogubeera ku mutimbagano oba kye bayita online media platform. Tunyumyamu emboozi naawe. Tulina programming ez'enjawulo, tukola ebintu eby'enjawulo omuli okulive streaming emikolo, omuli okulive streaminga buli kimu ky'oba oyagala tukulive streaming. Tusobola n'okutegeka omukolo gwo, oyagala book launch, oyagala kutambuza kalango ko, oyagala kutambuza product yo, wetuli okubanga tukuweereza wetutyo wetwateesa nammwe. Nga wena bagamba oba oyagala kutwegattako osobola okukubirako omwami Arnold Mokose Anthony, osobola omukubirako ennamba eri noti 7 noti 1 8 noti 2 asobola okubanga addamu buli kibuuzo kyo ky'oba oyagala, oba oba oyagala kukwatagana naffe ennamba yennyini gy'oba okubako. Nabagamba wano ku TikTok tulina programu ez'enjawulo nga lunaku olwaleero wabeerayo programu eya Mighty Drive eno yennyini gye tuliko okuva ku ssaawa emu ez'okumakya paka ssaawa 3 Monday to Friday. Then olunaku era olwaleero Monday akawungeezi tubeera ne hotline show ey'omwami gwe bayita Abdalatif, ebeerawo buli lunaku olwa Monday kuva ssaawa emu ez'akawungeezi paka ssaawa 3. Then ku lunaku olwokuna tulina show gye bayita The Diaspora Link, ebeerayo kuva ssaawa 11 ey'omwami Nixon Praise. Then olunaku olwokutaano era The Voltage ekomawo n'omukyala gwe bayita Luwede Lilian okuva ku ssaawa emu ez'akawungeezi paka ssaawa 3. Then ku Saturday tulina show erabibwa abantu n'abangi abajettanira gye bayita The Snap Talk, ebeerawo kweza essaawa 12 paka ssaawa 1 era omukyala Teddy Tenjo nabukeera yagibeerako okubanga abaweereza olunaku olwo. Then Sunday tulinayo eriiso ly'omukulu, eryo programu esinga okubanga ereeta abantu abalabye ku nsi eno nga balina n'emboozi ez'okunyumya ku lutabaalo lwe babaddemu okubanga babaddewo akadde akawera. Ndowooza twabeera tukyalina abagenyi bangi, tubaddeko n'omwami Norman tumuyimbise, omukyala Magic Gozi, tulina bagest babeera bangi nnyo awo wennyini. Bannange munzikirize soka enyingireko mu mawulire mangu agagenda maaso mu ggwanga Uganda. Gavumenti egambye aba medical interns abali beekalakaasiza baleme kukomawo. Ba medical interns abadde beekalakaasa nga mukakasa nti nno mwagala kubanga babongeza emisaala gavumenti y'eggwanga lino erya Uganda yagambye government hospitals oba amalwaliro gonna aga gavumenti galeme kubanga gakomyawo bano ba intern doctors bafune ba pre-interns bano bebasawo ababa betegese okubanga badda mu bigere ebyabo ababa bavuddewo aba medical interns. Ba medical interns bano kuva dda badde beekalakaasa nga balaga butali bumativu bwabwe nga bagamba gavumenti eremeddwa okutuukiriza ebisuubizo byayo bebadde ekola eri bannaUganda nga mbalaba omwami oyo ayina ebyonna Emmanuel omwogezi wa Ministry of Health yavuddeyo n'akakasa nti no basazeewo aba medical interns bano baleme kubanga baleme kudda following okugoba kwabo oba okugamba mbuno beekalakasiza so baleme ddala okudda naye leero olunaku tugenda kubanga twebuuza is this the right decision to make ensonga ensalawo gye tusobola okubanga tusalawo is it the best decision okugamba mbuno wemuba muganya okukomawo ku mirimu ate temuddira ddala ba medical interns abalala banaabayambako bo ba medical interns abalala bakkiriza okubanga bayambako bannaabwe so byebyo ebibuuzo byennyini bye tubuuza ne tulaba engeri gye tusobola okukyusamu lino eggwanga era olunaku lwaleero we tugenda okusimba amakanda okulaba engeri gye tunaakyusaamu eggwanga lino Uganda. Eddakiika ziri 12 ezakayita ku ssaawa emu katufulumeko wabweru w'eggwanga kuba amawulire mangi agali wabweru w'eggwanga aba G7 ge mawanga agasinga ng'amaanyi mu nsi yonna eno era they are the economic powers that we have bavuddeyo olunaku olwabadde wiiki ewedde eyo ne bakakasa nti nno tebagenda kubanga bakkiriza Russia kuyingira oba okuivadinga eggwanga lino erya Ukraine. Jjukira zino G7 mulimu amawanga nga Bungereza that is UK, mulimu USA, mulimu France, mulimu Italy, mulimu Germany, mulimu Canada. Gena amawanga gavuddeyo ne gakakasa nti tegagenda kukkiriza omusajja ogwe mulaba Vladimir Putin okubanga invading eggwanga erya Russia. Era ne bagamba the moment Russia invades Ukraine that is going to spark off something that is very very bizarre. Jukira ne bagambako wano nti no eggwanga lino erya Russia neggwanga erya Ukraine bakyakayanira akazinga ke bayita Crimea ndoza basoma ku European history owa senior 5 senior 6 au level mwajjukiranga Crimean weeyo nti akazinga paka sawa zino bakyakalwanira era Russia egamba akazinga ako ka Crimea kalina okubanga kegatta ku Russia ey'obwagugu oba the mainstream Russia okujjako nti aba Ukraine bona bo baaganye oba bawalaze empaka ne basigala nga baagala okubanga balina ekino ekifo ekya Crimea. So Russia yagenda nesimba amagye gaayo ku border zaayo oba ku nsalosalo zaayo ne Ukraine era ng'eyagala kulaga nti negenda kuyingirira Ukraine anytime soon okujjako nga womanyi kye bayita political powers zino omuli USA, France, abannataabo bagamba woyingirira Ukraine naffe oba otuyingiridde. So abatamanyi kikiyinza kubeerawo oyinza osanga nga bayinza okuteeka economic sanctions ez'amaanyi ku ggwanga lino erya Russia ezigenda ogimala akababba then bayinza n'okutandika okusanctioninga aba individuals bennyini abali mu magye gano aga Russia oba ne Vladimir Putin ng'omuntu oba bintu bingi byasobola okubanga basalawo basobola okugamba mbomanyi togenda kutunda byamaguzi byo mu Europe oba wantu walala kwegamba abana aba G7 oba kusalirawo ekintu that means oba ogenda akukiwuliramu omusera. So ekyo kyekiri wali mu ggwanga eryo erya Russia ne Ukraine aba G7 bavuddeyo ne bakakasa nti nno tebagenda kukkiriza kino kugenda mu maaso. Tudukeko wali mangu mu ggwanga erya United States of America. United States of America erabye I think the hardest tornadoes that have affected this particular country in a long time. In the history of the United States, tebafunangako tornado ezibayisizza bubinga zino zebafunye wiiki eno ewedde. USA amasaza nga Kentucky eno gye bakolya KFC kubanga bagita Kentucky Fried Chicken, Kentucky, Kansas, Illinois, Missouri, Mississippi ne Tennessee gemasaza owa states ezabadde affected by the tornadoes ezayiseemu olunaku lw'eggulo wali mu wiiki ewedde wali mu ggwanga erya US. Ndoza mulaba amamotoka gonna egayonoonese abantu wewukiredde olunaku olwalira abantu abakunukkiriza mu bantu 9 be baakafa nga bava ku njegena ate bagamba ennamba eno egenda kweyongera kubanga abantu bangi ababadde affected abantu twali tibetegekedde tornado zino era government yabadde ka warning awulayo no zeddakiika 10 tornado zino zitandika okubanga zibayisa bubi era abasinga kye basobodde okukola kwe kubanga beekweka mu cellars oba eyo wansi gye batera okwekweka naye bangi tebawonyeewo ndooza mulaba ekibuga kyonna era mu ssaza erya Kentucky ba declaring kyebayita state of emergency oba akaseera akatali ka butebenkevu wa state of emergency okubanga bagezaako okuyamba bano abantu naye ekyenjawulo ekiri mu ggwanga lino era US nti nno balaze omutima omulungi bantu bannaabwe abantu bonna ababadde displaced aba affectingiddwa tornado bayambiddwa bantu bannaabwe so badde bakozeewo enkambi gy'onaagamba mbu oba refugee oba okuyamba bano abantu abali affected naye n'enkambi terina muntu aliyo because Abamerika bennyini beeyambye baguddewo enzigi zaabwe mu masaza ag'enjawulo ku tawuni eziri okumpi n'ebibuga ebiri affected ne bakkiriza abantu bannaabwe bajje babeere nabo mweno time nga tekiri bulungi wali musaza erya Kentucky lyerisinza okuba nga libe affected abantu abakunukiriza mu 9 bambi abe bafiiriddwa obulamu bwabwe naye ate tetusobola kwogera ku property oba ebintu ebyayonooneddwa because of these particular tornadoes zayise masaza nagambe gali mukaaga naye saza erisinza okuba nga likosebwa enjege eno lyesaza erya Kentucky naye nga mulimu amasaza nga Missouri nago eno tornado zayiseeyo Mississippi tornado zayiseeyo Kansas tornado zayiseeyo Illinois nayo zayiseeyo Tennessee nawo bambi basobodde okubanga bawulira ku njege eno eya tornadoes jukira abantu abenjawulo batandise okubanga banoonyereza kiki kyennyini tornadoes zino kuzaavudde is it climate change nkyukakyuka mu budde oba monsoon winds eziba blowing around these areas osanga nazo ze zaleese omanyi waliwo empewo etera okuva mu masemayanja ageetoolodde USA eyo balina Pacific balina Atlantic waliwo agundi ez'enjawulo oceans so osanga oluusi embeera y'obudde etera okwecyangamu mpola mpola so abanoonyereza batandise okubanga banoonyereza ku kiki ekyavuddeko zino tornadoes okubanga ziyisa bubi abantu b'eggwanga erya America. Tuddukeko ebuyindi waliyo abavubuka 14 ababa civilians 14 abatiddwa amagye ga India naye nno waliwo abantu abakola ebintu neweewuunya oba babikola batya nti amagye ga India gano gakoze ambush ku bwe badde bateebereza okuba abatujju ne babakubamu amasasi nga tebababuuziza tibadde budde bwa kiro nti badde tebalaba nabadde budde bwa misana ne basobola okubanga basumulula amasasi ku bantu bannaabwe ba civilian abantu ba bulijjo mu ggwanga lino erya India so twogerera ng'abantu 14 bo batiddwa ezaabwe zo zezikaze engoye kati naye nga kivudde ku bulagajjavu obw'amagye ga buyindi okubanga tebanoonyereza na kugamba nti are these people the terrorists that we are ambushing or we are ambushing civilians babadde awo nno nga bali mu biroole ebyo zino zibayita trucks mu lulimi olwo Olungereza so babakubye amasasi agabatiddewo abantu 14 ne bafiirawo bambi mu njege eno nga bo abamagye basumulula busumuluzi balowooza bali ku mulabe aba adui. Tukomewo wano mu ggwanga erya Uganda twogere ku kibiina kino ekya NUP ne NRM in terms of what they called the LC5 oba ssentebe bw'ekibuga kino ekya Ekayunga. So etwogerera nga Ekayunga ebifuba bitandise okubanga bibuguma abantu ab'enjawulo akalulu katandise okubindabinda. President Museveni asuubira okubanga yeegatta mu kalulu kano lunaku lwaleero oba olunaku lw'enkya ennaku 2 ezibulayo banna akalulu kano kaddemu aka by election abeesimbyewo ku tiketi ya NRM kuliko omwami gwe bayise Henry Muwonge ate nga agenda kubanga ttunka n'omukyala eyeesimbyewo Harriet Nakwedde okuva mu kibiina kino ekya National Unity Platform. Etwogerera nga Prime Minister Nabbanja yabaddeko mu bifo awo eby'Ekayunga nga agamba bannange tulonde omwana we waka NRM yeyina okubanga erondebwa wano Ekayunga naye ate ne NUP naye tesuddeeyo mukono just like that nabo bagambye Harriet Nakwedde gwe bagenda okubanga bayimirirako mu kalulu kano akabindabinda wali mu kibuga eky'Ekayunga oba Kayunga kibuga oba kaŋŋambe mu district so bagenda kubanga akalu kagenda kubanga kabindabinda lunaku lugenda kubeera ndooza lwa 3 naye nga president w'eggwanga lino Yoweri Kaguta Tipwabula Museveni asuubirwa okubanga yeegatta mu kalulu kano naye ate waliwo RCC ow'ekibuga ow'Ekayunga ate yatunyumidde yagambye mbu NUP tebasuubira Bobi Wine kubanga ayingira oba Kyagulanyi Ssentamu kubanga ayingira e Kayunga. Bagambye yabadde alina okubeerawo olunaku lw'eggulo Sande, naye yabaddewo Sande tebagenda kumukkiriza kuyingira kibuga kino nga bagamba President w'eggwanga agenda kubeerayo olunaku lwaleero oba olw'enkya, so security erina okubanga eri ggulugulu. Naye abannakibiina ba NUP bo bakakasiza nti Kyagulanyi whether by hooks or crooks mu buli mbeera yonna alina okubanga ayingira e Kayunga, bo we bakakasiza. Okujjako kati tugenda kulaba the battle between the RCC and the NUP. Kuba bo badde bateesa nti no Museveni waba aliwe leka abeere gy'abeera ne Kyagulanyi abeere mu NUP, bonna babeere mu kibuga kyekimu wadde tebagenda beera mu kifo kyekimu. Naye nga ye RCC omwami okuva mu kibuga ekyekayunga yakakasiza nti tebagenda kubanga bakkiriza Kyagulanyi Ssentamu okubanga ayingira ekibuga ekyekayunga. Ndowooza tumalirize ne story eva mu Afghanistan okuva abatalibaani bano bwe bakwata obuyinza mu ggwanga lino erya Afghanistan. Enkyukakyuka nnyingi ezigenda mu maaso, enkyukakyuka ezigenda mu maaso ate zo tezigenda mu maaso ku lwa bulungi, zigenda mu maaso mu bubi. Officially now openly Afghanistan etunda ekintu kye bayita ekikubwa kye bayita myth, crystal myth oba gye bayita opium enjaga. Wano omanyi waliwo a difference between marijuana and opium oba enjaga. So wetwogerera nga mu kibuga wali ekya Afghanistan opium oba enjaga gye mulaba enjeru eya powder eyo itandise okubanga etundwa kyere. Jukira eggwanga lino litaterebwako sanctions ez'enjawulo, aba USA ne superpowers ez'enjawulo zabateekako kye bayita envumbo okubanga mu byenfuna byabwe mu bya humanitarian aid byabwe babateekako envumbo nnyingi. So okubanga batandika okuyiiya ku ssente ezinasigaza ikonomi yaabwe ng'egenda mu maaso, Afghanistan openly kati enjaga bagitunda kyere. Era woogenda mu Afghanistan saawa zino osobola n'okugamba n'otuuka ku dduuka n'ogamba njagala bampeeyo ndooza half ya opium oba ku njaga y'obuwunga. So that is how bizarre what is happening, how bizarre the situation is in Afghanistan. Abantu b'enjawulo, abaana b'enjawulo okuva mu ggwanga lino bali addicted ku bintu ebyo. Eggwanga lyo nga lyo era okulibeeramu weetaaga ndoozi okubanga olina omutima, kubanga eggwanga lino abatalibaani kye balikoze abantu ennaku zino abakyala babaddamu okubanga babasibira mu mayumba, tebabakkiriza kukola, tebabakkiriza kusoma, wadde beebuzaabuza international community ne balaga nti no babakkiriza. Naye ng'olaba abatalibaani abaaliwo emyaka 2 emabega beebo bennyini abaakomyewo eggwanga batandise okubanga balidibagira ddala era we twogereranga ekigenda mu maaso kati enjaga ya buseere, enjaga etundwa openly. Ate woolaba mbu bano bagezaako okubanga baji exporting amawanga agatuuka paka ne mu USA. Enjaga eno esobola okutuuka amawanga nga Australia. So it's like their commercial product. Kyosobola ogamba mbu bannange ffe kino kyeki product gye tubawadde. So aba Afghanistan kati enjaga efuuse the main product that the country can actually offer. Ndowooza olaba eggwanga litandise okubanga lidibagibwa eggwanga lino erya Afghanistan. Bannange tusabire Afghanistan. Ndowooza tumalirize kubanga ndaba eddakiika ziri 24 ezakayita ku ssaawa emu ey'okumakya. Muli ku program gye bayita The Mighty Drive. Amannya nze Karuhanga Edgar Matthew okubanga mbaweereza. Amawulire gabadde gakyali mangi. President ye yaappointinze baambasada abapya mu Uganda. Nja kuba mbasomera ku list eyo baambassadors abapya mwe bali mu mawanga ag'enjawulo. President Yoweri Kaguta Tibwabulwa Museveni era yayogedde nti yafulumiza olukalala lw'abano baambasada. Nja kuba ndufuna mangu awo tube nga tuluyitamu nalwo. Then twogere ku Samuel Eto'o. Samuel Eto'o mwe ndooza abantu abali mu myaka gya Arnold Mukose Anthony, abali mu myaka gya Norman Tumuhimbise, mwe mwalaba ku musambi ono Samuel Eto'o. Samuel Eto'o ya musambi eyava mu ggwanga erya Cameroon lino n'asobola okubanga akuba omupiira nakuna oba kye bayita excelling mu European football. Era ono yava ku ssemazinga wa Africa agenda mu ggwanga wali erya Spain. Ndooza mujjukira akuba omupiira gwali mulungi mu Barcelona. Barcelona yaliko Lionel Messi, yalimu Samuel Eto'o, yalimu Ronaldinho, yalimu abasajja ab'enjawulo abakuba omupiira ogwali omulungi, ba Xavi, ba Iniesta, bakuba omupiira gwali mulungi nnyo. Samuel Eto'o awangula ebikopo eby'enjawulo mu ttiimu eyo. ava mu tiimu yagenda mu Inter Milan ndoza mujjukira 2010 awo balyoka bawangula ekikopo n'omusajja Jose Felix Mourinho ekya Inter Milan. In fact bawangula kye bayita treble kuba bagenda bawangula Italian Serie A, bawangula ekikopo kino ekya Champions League, bawangula ekikopo kyali kya Scudetto ndoza. Ebikopo byali byenjawulo bawangula ebikopo byonna ebyali mu Italy ne bawangula ne Champions League awo ba Wesley Schneider mujjukira eyo tiimu yali nnungi nnyo. So wetwogereranga omwami ono Samuel Eto'o yalondeddwa okubanga yakulembera omupiira gw'eggwanga lino erya Cameroon, era yagambye mu bigambo bye, it is the utmost pleasure of his life to be voted as the president of the Cameroon Football Federation. So ye Moses Magogo Weri wetwogereranga yagudde mu bintu bamulonze unanimously, yafunye obululu bwabadde ndoza nambu 3 eyamuzeeko yafunye obululu tebwabadde bungi bwabadde tebulingira na bululu 3 ndoza bwabadde nga bululu oba 16. So Samuel Eto'o no naye nga era kyekibadde balina okukola. Samuel Eto'o yabagenda n'abawangulira AFCON oyo gwolaba omwami oyo abakubidde goals 5 mu mipiira 18 eja tiimu eno ey'eggwanga erya Cameroon. So omwami abadde muganzi nnyo, kyembasiima mbagamba wano, that is what the power of sport can do. Nabagambako wano mbuno omwami Mohamed Salah asambira tiimu eno eya Liverpool bamulonda mu ggwanga erya Egypt n'afuna obululu milioni 3 kuba president naye nga teyeesimbyewo. What am I saying? Abaali beesimbyewo nga babasazaamu bwe bati ne bateekako Mohamed Salah. We babala obululu obwo bwafunye mu Egypt, obululu obwo obululu bwawera milioni 3 naye nga teyeesimbyewo. Kati imagine if Mohamed Salah just woke up one day and decided, you know what, I am coming to be the president of Egypt, what would happen? This is what I'm telling you. That is what the power of sport, it's a power of art. Omuntu obeera ow'enjawulo, no standing out in what you do. People like to affiliate with you, Sebo. So when kugambira kino ekintu wetwogeranga omwami Samuel Eto'o power ye sport ye omupiira gwe yakuba gutandise okubanga guzza ebibala mu ggwanga lino erya Cameroon. Kati ye president w'omupiira era ye yagambye ebintu byagenda okutandikirako gwe mupiira gw'abakyala oba football y'aba bakyala oba ladies football. That is what he's going to be starting off with. So mu ngeri eyo omwami ono Samuel Eto'o twagala okubanga tumukongratulatinga nga tumugamba bannange ssebo webale kubanga otuuka ku buwanguzi ebintu abikoleredde era naawe omusambi ali eyo atandika mu Vipers, atandika mu Wakiso Giants, atandika mu tiimu yonna gy'otandikiramu abali mu high school abaana abatulaba. It is high time for you to also believe in yourself. You can reach wherever angles you want to reach. Mohamed Salah tuli mumulaba kati omusajja yakutula record ya Didier Drogba mu Premier League kati yasinga goal ennyingi, ye musambi omufirika asinga goal ennyingi mu league ene ya Premier League. Kati wetwogereranga ayina combined goals and assists ziri 30 mu mipiira egitasukka 15 mu league eno mu season eno wetwogerera. So kiraga mbuno bana osobola okubanga over in what they call the shambles of inferiority to the great horizons of superiority. Omwami Napoleon Bonaparte yayogera ebigambo ebyo, that you can rise from the shambles of inferiority to the great horizons of superiority. Nti osobola okuva mu kye bayita mu shambles ez'okubanga tolina akumanyi ng'oli nothing n'ofuuka ekintu eky'amaanyi mu ggwanga lino erya mu nsi eno gye tubeeramu, the world, and of course mu ggwanga erya Uganda nayo yennyini osobola okubanga ofuuka naggwano. Bannange tugendeko mu mawulire agava wali mu ggwanga erya Ethiopia. Bantu mwe mbadde mbabulira olutalo luno olwa Ethiopia okuva lwatandika, kati lwatandika mu November w'omwaka oguwedde, lutandise okunuukiriza mu mwaka mulamba. Naye bantu mwe njagala musooke mu appreciating nti wetwogerera Africa yeetaaga okusabirwa. Africa yeetaaga okusabirwa, eggwanga lino erya Ethiopia lyetaaga okusabirwa. Ethiopia ebaddemu okwetta oba murder, in fact kangambe mass murders ezibadde mu ggwanga lino erya Ethiopia, abantu nga bafudde mu ggwanga lino. Wetwogereranga abantu abafudde, Ahmed Abiy mumulaba yakulembeddemu olutabaalo, yenno ye prime minister w'eggwanga lino erya Ethiopia oyo yakulembeddemu olutabaalo okubanga alumba Batigri oba Abatigri abagamba baagala kubanga bakwata obuyinza mu ggwanga lino erya Ethiopia. Abatigre bava mu party eya East oba mu buvanjuba gye bava, era balina ensozi nnyingi wetera okubanga beekweka eyo mpola mpola, bazze nga baagala okubanga bawamba gavumenti. Ahmed Abiy gavumenti ye yagezezaako nebalwanisa nebajjako ebitundu ebimu ebya ekibuga Amahara kye baali bakutte ne babajjako ettaka eryo erimu ne babyeddiza naye tuwogereranga kati Ahmed Abiy yabadde yavuddeyo mu lutabaalo ate yaviiriddeyo waati abatigule ne baddamu ne bawamba ebibuga ebimu mu amahara kwegamba bano abasajja bakyewulira bonna naye nga twogera nti olutalo okuva lwatandika omwaka oguwedde abantu abafudde bali mu bikumi na bikumi. It is many people abali mu kufiira mu njegene mu kulwana kuno kwensobola okugamba mbu tekuyina magezi lwaki tebasobola kutuula wansi ne banoonya a common ground. Omwami Uhuru Kenyatta president wa Kenya yabaddeko mu ggwanga lino erya Ethiopia yagendayo n'agezaako okubanga abatebaganya naye ne kigaana tebasobola kubanga bakwatagana. Ninga yo Kenya nga okimanyi omwami alina okubeera ne interest because eggwanga lino erya Ethiopia libeera mu lutabaalo oba webibeeramu ebizibu ebityo. Refugee problem abasajja bano bagiwulira nabo abakenya jjukira balina ensalosalo n'eggwanga lino erya Ethiopia. So refugees baba bagenda kweyonga bakibayita refugee influx baba balina okusala bave mu ggwanga erya Ethiopia ate bayingire Kenya ate kati nga refugee bayingire Kenya ndooza mumanya ebibabiddako. So bagezezaako okubatabaganya naye bonna buteerere bagamba kati omwami Ahmed Abiy gwe mulabye yagamba agenda kuva mu lutabaalo luno nga abo bennyini abeekalakaasa bonna bali wansi mu ttaka. That is the statement he made. So kyenkugambe wano tewakyali room for kuteesa abantu bali mu kwetta bettanga bannange it is sometimes overwhelming okubanga osoma ku bintu weebiti omanya amawulire weegati olusiga kukwatirako because olaba mu families ez'enjawulo wali nabalagako wano nabagambako story ya namawulire mu ggwanga erya Ethiopia eyagenda n'anoonyereza zi mass graves ze baali bakwese nga zirimu abantu 10,000 bonna bafiiriddewo babaziise kirindi ekintu ekikwasa ennaku n'ogamba neffe abantu bannaffe lwaki tuba twetta ebyo bintu Mukama yatuwaako obwongo obwogamba mukatulowooze nti bw'obeera n'obwongo osobola okuteesa ne munno n'ogamba kale nze ngenda kukoma wano naawe koma wano naye era bwe tebannaba kwetta omanyi sometimes the world bagita the battle for the strongest. Only the strong survive. Just because wano tudda mu Uganda nti at least Mukama abadde akyatuyambyeko mpola. So n'atali mu amaanyi osobola survivinga naye mu byaddala otunulamu ku history mu bintu bye tuyise mu byafa ebintu bye tusomyeko mulabyengako nti buli we mutuula ebyokuteesa ne bigaana kati ow'amaanyi yabagenda okutwala mwakiraba wano ne mu 1980 President Museveni we yagamba kati katugende tulaba amaanyi galye era ye amaanyi ge galya we yawangula Obote nasobola okuba nga atwala obuyinza. Power is never a given ekyo mukimanyi. Power is taken nti amaanyi gatwalibwa butwalibwa. So ow'amaanyi yasobola okuba nga asalawo kati kwe twogerera nga ow'amaanyi yali mu kusalawo abantu bali mu kwetta Ahmed Abiy afiiriddwa bangi president aliko gavumenti ate ne bano abatigure nabo bafiiriddwa bangi abatamanyi ggwanga lino erya Ethiopia ggwanga ddene nnyo nti ekibuga ekya Tigure kye twogerako kirimu abantu abawera miliyoni 45. So Uganda yonna eri mu kibuga ekya Tigure kwegamba kati abantu abatigure bali mu kulwanisa abantu ba Ahmed Abiy gavumenti because olaba ndoza bakunukiriza miliyoni nga 10 oba ndoza nga 152 sorry ez'abantu mu Ethiopia eno. I'm not so sure about that number. Njagala omwami amukosa ajja kumbulya answer ntuufu naye nga population y'abantu baleka balinga mu miliyoni 2 kwegamba eggwanga lino ddene nnyo erya bwaguuga nnyo. Kati abantu abatigure ne bagamba nabo baagala kubanga balwana bawambe gavumenti bangi abantu betwogerako Uganda namba eri mu kulwanisa Ethiopia endala because kati ne Ethiopia n'abantu ba bulijjo babagamba bakwate emmundu batandika okubanga beerwanako. So olutalo lutuuse welutyo lutuuse nti kati abantu batandise okubanga balwanira ensi yaabwe. Jjukira Ethiopia eno erimu amasaza ag'enjawulo mulimu Addis Ababa mulimu Amahara gye mbagambyeko abatigure bano gye baali bakutte waliyo Tigray waliyo Somaliland ago gonna ezo zonna provinces oba bibuga mu ggwanga lino erya Ethiopia. Ate ebibuga nno ebinene bwaguuga betwogerako nga abantu abalimu bangi nnyo ddala. So olutalo welutyo olugenda abantu abakunukiriza mu 10 n'ebikumi be baakafiira mu lutalo luno okuva lwatandika omwaka oguwedde. Ahmed Abiy yagamba tagenda kubanga kakkanya mukono era wetwogerera nga yazzeeyo mu lutabaalo naye bino ebintu byabakulembeza okukulemberanga entalo tebitera kuba bulungi. Nabagamba wano ndoza mujjukira omwami Idris Idris Dabe okuva mu Chad eyo yaliko president wa president aliko kati mutabani we yaliko kati omwami oyo yagenda naye nga agenze mu lutalo kulwanisa bayeekera bakomyawo mulambo. So Ahmed Abiyo agira naye abenga ogenda mu battlefront oba olina okubanga weewulira eryanyi. So Ahmed Abiyo katusabe asobole okubanga naye abeera bulungi. Dakika ziri 35 zezakayita ku ssaawa emu ey'okumakya. Program olaba The Mighty Drive amanyanze Edgar Matthew Karuhango okubanga nkuweereza nga sirinzekka nabagambe tulina omwami Derek Desire yali ku kamera olunaku lwaleero. Then tulina ne Mukose Arnold Anthony wali okubanga alaba nti buli kimu kigenda bulungi. Teddy Tenjo nabukeera mukyala oyo naye producer wange sino ba producer bangi wosobola okusanga nga bakyala. So Teddy Tenjo kyakola, she's actually defying the odds. Then omwami Jeremiah Mukibi naye wali ne Rogers tuli ahabwe naye abeerawo mpola mpola. Beba abantu bemutalaba naye abakola ebintu ebyenjawulo ebyo mulaba essaawa zino nti we bate baliiwo naffe baba baweereza tuba tetulina mugaso oguli awo gw'amaanyi. So tugereko wali mu ggwanga erya Bufaransa waliyo ekifo kye bayita New Macedonia. Kino kibadde part of Bufaransa naye nga okumala obudde bungi badde bagezaako okubanga bafuuka eggwanga eryetongole oba eggwanga an independent state bafuuke eggwanga nabo outside France. Naye nga ekyewuunyisa naye nga abazungu bano we batusingira nti kati it's the same story that is in Ethiopia, right? Abatigre baagala kufuuka ggwanga ery'enjawulo oba baagala kuwamba ggwanga ddamba. Naye wano solution giffe gye tufunye ng'Abafirika kwe kwerwanisa nti kati abanaafa baffe abanaasigalawo be banaasigaza obuyinza. Naye Bufaransa abantu ba New Macedonia baatuula ne bababuuza mwagala kubanga mwekutulako mbuye ne bagamba kale kati mwerondemu abaagala okubanga mwekutulako mwerondemu abataagala kubanga beekutulako. Abantu basazeewo mbu baagala kusigala part of France. Ndowooza olaba dialogue weeri ennungi nti New Macedonia yo yasazeewo negamba nedda tetwagala kufuuka ggwanga lyetongowadde twagala kusigala nga tukyali part of France. Balonze emirundi 3 egy'omuddiringanwa kati tewakyali kye basalawo. New Macedonia ekyali part of Bufaransa wadde abantu abamu bagamba mbu abantu bali tebasobola kulowooza bulungi because of COVID-19. Those are just excuses. The people of Macedonia knew what they want. Bo basazeewo nti no okusigala ne Bufaransa ofunamu bingi. Wobeera ne passport ya Bufaransa oba weesiimi. You are in Europe wakati oli mu major economy. Lwaki oba ovaamu okusesidinga because of power. So ndoza bino ebintu nga abazungu babikola naffe bannaye ndoza tutuukeko kweno level. Kyobula oluusi bagamba guno omubiri gwaffe omuddugavu oba kiki. It's not just a stereotype, but I'm just speaking the truth. Sometimes you see that there are things you just have to dialogue on. Kunyumyamu mboozi n'ogamba omanyi ffenna tetukkiriziganya na kino. Naye how best can we actually be better? Tusobola tutya okukwata zino ensonga. So these are some of the things bano abazungu bye bakyatusinzeeko nti bo tebagenda kulinda musaayi gwa muntu kubanga guyiika wali. Omuntu oyo aba afudde abeera ne famire emutunuulira nti ssaawa zino omuntu n'afa maama wa naye aba akaaba maziga omwana we omututte otutte omusajja wooli oba osise oyo omusajja osise mutabani. You've killed a son, you've killed a father, you've killed a husband, you've killed a friend for different people. Njagala Abafirika tutuuke ku level understanding what they call the sanctity of life. That's why I'm always surprised here nti abantu 50 battibwa omwaka oguwedde mu November naye teri muntu yakwatibwa paka ssaawa zino. Abantu bakyalya butaala naye nga abantu bali baziika abeewaabwe. So njagala tutandika oyiga the sanctity of human life nti omusaayi guno Mukama gwe yatuwa teri asobola kubanga agukola. A human being tasobola kubanga awona ebisago bye ngate toleese muntu eyamukolako ekyo ekintu n'omuwa justice oba n'omugamba mbu omanyi gwe watta abantu we bati katukusibe mu mbeera bweti. Ebyo byebintu ebireeta obusungu mu bantu. Ate obusungu we bujja we mulabira ebintu ebitandika nga genocide, ebintu bye bayita mass death, mass murders, ebintu ebivaamu we mba muganya okubanga mukwatagana. So twogereranga eyo ntuuseeyo naye nga mbadde mostly njogera ku the sanctity of human life n'engeri gye tusobola solvinga mu challenges zaffe ze tufuna ffe ng'abantu at the end of the day. Ndowooza tuddukeko mangu mu ggwanga lino erya Libya. Libya eggwanga lino okuva mu 2011 we bajjako kano omwama Elfitil Gaddafi omwami oyo okuva we yavaako ng'abafugidde emyaka 42 tebannafuna mirembe paka ssaawa zino. Tebannafuna mirembe paka ssaawa zino. Bategesa akalulu mbuka akubeera ennaku z'omwezi 24 so twogereranga ennaku 12 ze zibulayo okubanga balonda president waabwe naye nga olaba eggwanga erironda ne weebuza tewali organization eriwo tewali criteria oli gyagamba muno tugenda kulonda because of this and this criteria teriiwo wetwogereranga just abantu waliwo confusion because UN ne amawanga nezino emikago egyegattirwamu ensi bebaagala okubanga bakola ki bebaagala okubanga bebataddemu sente mu kulonda kuno naye ate eggwanga lyo nga liyo terinatuuka kubanga lironda oba mu kitegeera kyentegeeza bali mu kukikola because it's the foreign powers who are dictating what they should do, right? But it is not inherently from the subconsciences of the people of Libya to carry out an election. Nabagamba wano nti ssaawa zino Libya yayawulwamu mu bitundu ebyenjawulo waliyo Benghazi eyo omwami Khalif Haftar yali mu kufugayo oyo mwami yalwana nnyo okubanga bajjako Gaddafi yafugayo ate naye alina amagye agage tuyina ekibuga ekyabazintan omwami Saif Gaddafi mutabani wa Gaddafi gye bamusibira gye bagamba nti bamusibira naye nga olaba gye bamusibira ali mu kulya butaala atambula nga we yeeyagala so n'abazintan balina amagye gaabwe nabo bagamba weebali mpola mpola then balina n'ebibuga ebyenjawulo balina ne Tripoli excuse me balina ne Tripoli yennyini ekibuga ekikulu nabo balina amagye gaabwe kwegamba ensi yonna yayawukanamu mu ngeri eyayitekirizibwa ensi yaggwawo kati ate ekizibu mbu bonna bakyewulira amaanyi wetwogereranga bonna beewulira nti basobola okubanga balwana basobola okubanga bonna basobola okutwala obuyinza so kyova olaba nti n'essaawa zino let's say kale balonze ennaku z'omwezi 24 balonze ne tugamba president ye Khalif oyo omwami Khalif Haftar kati waba afuuse president olowooza abazintaani ne Saif Gaddafi bagenda kukkiriza ono afuge bw'atyo mbona kale amagye gaffe gonna emmundu tuzitadde wansi tufuge do you really believe that as well because bonna beewulira eryanyi so the thing is ngaye nabagambye wano amaanyi ge gagenda okumayiza nga galidde era bagenda kulwana paka bo bennyini we banaawulira nti okulwana kubatamye nga bafiiriddwa nnyo bonna baweddemu amaanyi paka awo we bagenda okusalirawo nti omanyi kati naffe katukole ki katuwumule tutandika okuteesaganya because omuntu waba yeewulira amaanyi bonna nga bakyewulira nti omanyi nze nnyina ebifuba tukyalina amaanyi buli omu nga yeewulira amaanyi ga munne that means you are not going to get a resolution because you all feel you are strong. There has to be someone to believe that he is weak or he has lost so that they can actually sit on a table. So kyekigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga eryo erya Libya ndoza banaye kambakomyawo amawulire go abasikasigala gakyali mangi nnyo Kenya wano bagenda mu kalulu next year tugenda kanyumirwako tulaba William Ruto ali n'omwami Odinga BBI bagiremesa naye nga Uhuru ajja Uhuru ali mabega wa Odinga basajja kwegamba there is a bit of here and there ebintu byenjawulo ebigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga erya Kenya Nelson Ruto bamuggyako obukuumi badde bamuyisa bubi ate nga ye vice president w'eggwanga lino lwakuba naye yajja ku ntebe ennene naye awulira ajeetaaga so bingi Kenya yonja kugibanoonyerezaako njibawendoza wiiki eno nga tennaggwako ki ekigenda mu maaso akalulu kali katya wetwogereranga akaluluko kabindabinda olabira ddala nga polls ezigenda mu maaso ziraga nti William Ruto ono akyalina ebifo bingi abakalenjini bamuli mabega ekibuga Nairobi kimwagala nga bimanya abavubuka Mombasa naye erisaidi ye naye ate olaba ate eno coalition eya Uhuru erimu Odinga erimu abasajja ba Gideon Moi erimu abasajja bano bogamba mbuno abasajja ab'amaanyi mu politics we Kenya jukire politics ye Kenya nti erimu haja alagidde nti ono wagamba mulondo ono batera okulonda oyo gwe baba balonze ate oli wabeera ne political powers bwezitya so dictating ani asobola okubeera president at the end of the day so ekyo kyekiri e Kenya mawulire manje South Africa Omicron variant yeyongedde mu Bungereza ndoza mujuka Boris Johnson prime minister during lockdown y'omwaka oguwedde abantu mu office ye bakola party okuva ye bakola party eno obubaga buno waliwo ka video akafuluma ng'omukyala ali mu kugamba bana abantu ne bategeera nti tuli mu kulya party ku time ng'abantu bali mu kufa COVID-19 oba basobola kugamba kikwegamba nga ali awo yali nga tamiddemu they were having a party Video eno yaliikinze yaliikinga Wednesday week ewedde. Okuva olwo amawulire gabadde mangi mu ggwanga lino erya Bungereza nga Paalamenti ya Bungereza yennyini yatuuse n'okuyisa eyagala kuyisa ekiteeso eki-impeachinga omwami ono Boris Johnson, Prime Minister wa Bungereza, nga bagamba ono ne office ye batumanyira nnyo abantu bali mu kufiirwa, abantu bali mu kufa, abantu bali mu kuziika. Imwe muli mu pate, muli mu kumenya amateeka ga COVID-19. What a paradox. So bayisiza n'ekiteeso bagamba naye ono Boris Johnson yeetaaga okuba nga ava ne mu buyinza. Abaleba party aba opposition singa walabyeko engeri akavuyo kabadde omu abantu bayombedde ddala nnyo nga bagamba okwo kubanga tobawadde kitiibwa. Sawa ekyo kyekiri mu maaso ekigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga erya Bungereza. Boris Johnson ono ali ku kookya kati bamuli bubi ate batandise kati okunoonyereza story eyo bulungi. Kiki ekyagenda mu maaso ku Downing Street awali office ya Prime Minister wa Bungereza was there party. Did Boris Johnson know? Kwanga ye Boris Johnson agamba yeti yayita kimanyi naye nga ate abantu abamuli emabega bo already ba resigning dda. Omanya abazungu bano balina ku nsonyi bw'okola ekintu bwe kito resigninga naye wano Uganda wano Africa oli abeerawo naye nga akimanya abantu tebamwagala naye nga abeerawo. Kyobalaba Kapere agamba oba omuntu afa stress Nagweri, ladies and gentlemen, dakikazi ya mukage ezakaita kusawa emwe y'okumakya. Amawulire go gaba mangi nnyo tetusobola kubanga tugamalayo. Munzikirize tuwummulemu katono bwe tukomawo atugenda kubanga tunyumyamu ku mboozi ku bintu ebyenjawulo ebibadde bitambula mu ggwanga lino erya Uganda. Bana, let's take a short commercial break tetufa stress.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Nze omubejja luwedde Lilian mbaniriza maka gaffe amajja era nga wano tugenda okuba nga tukolera programu yaffe emanyiddwa nga The Voltage gaba masanyalaze gennyini era nga twogera ku bintu ebyenjawulo omwo mwe muli ebigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga, ensonga z'ebyobufuzi n'obukulembeze bw'eggwanga Uganda, twogera ku nsonga ez'abavubuka, eddembe ly'obuntu awamu n'ebyenkulaakulana. Togisubwa buli lunaku olwokutaano eba ssaawa emu ey'akawungeezi paka ssaawa 3 ez'ekiro.
The Diaspora Link buli lwakuna ssaawa 11 paka ssaawa emu ey'olweggulo ye program gye tukuleetedde wano ku Alternative Digital Uganda. Tugenda batutunulira embeera z'Abannayuganda, baganda baffe, bannyinaffe zibawangaaliramu mu mawanga ag'ebunaayira. Bangi banyigirizibwa, bangi bakosebwa, bangi bayisiddwamu amaaso. Naye tugenda batutunulira engeri gye tusobola okulongosaamu embeera zaabwe. Tugenda kuba tulaba abo abakwatibwako abateekeddwa okuba nga balongoosa embeera zino eno. Tosubwa buli lwakuna n'omuweerezaawo Nixon Segawa.
Hello everyone, my name is Abdulatif and I welcome you to the Hotline Show here at the Alternative Dig Talk as we discuss issues of national importance. Join us every Monday 7 to 9 p.m. and see who will be occupying these seats here with us. Keep it Dig Talk, real issues, real talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Yes, dakika zili 50 zezakaita ku ssaawa emu ey'okumakya mukyali ku program The Mighty Drive Show amanya nze Edgar Matthew Karuhango kubanga mbaweereza negatiddwako omwami gwe bayita Rogers tulyahabwe omusajja ono munnamawulire ate munnamateeka. How lucky are you to be two in one? You are both a journalist and a lawyer at the same time.
It's just a definition of a gentleman.
Ladies, do you believe in that? It's just a definition of a gentleman. Na mauli amalage tuinawo abanyumirwa Formula 1 oba omuzannyo gw'obumotoka bw'empaka oba abazungu sigamba zino ezaffe. Formula 1 gyo twafunye a new champion, a Dutchman, Max Verstappen okuva mu ggwanga erya Dutch. He's from Belgian origin. Musajja mu Belgian naye nga yakulira mu ggwanga eryo erya Dutch. So we twogerera nga yafunye world championship ye. He is the first, I think, in a long time away from Lewis Hamilton, right?
He's the first Dutchman, by the way.
First Dutchman. Atenga omwana ono naye bamulabirawo, he has been young newe yayingira muzannyo guno ngola competition y'amaanyi okujjako nti yawangudde zine empaka naye yazawangudde in the most controversial way you can actually win a Formula 1 game. Nti babadde balina Lewis Hamilton yakulembedde round zonna ezasoose. Babadde wali mu Abu Dhabi Grand Prix mu kibuga ekya Abu Dhabi. So babadde omwami ono Lewis Hamilton yakulembeddemu okuva race ezatandise era Hamilton akina emirundi 7. So buli omu yadde amanyi Hamilton agenda kubanga akola ki akiwangula. Naye mu lapu yabadde esembayo Hamilton emipiira gye gigenda gislipingako katono. Bwe jaslipinze bana balina okuchanginga tires bamublockinga. Verstappen amuyisiza ku nkulungo bweti abaya akamuyisa bwati taddamu kumukwata naye nga ate olabye ddala kwegamba it was something that was actually he was actually winning this race Hamilton. Naye we yaseredde mu katono bwati ate ne Verstappen ate namukonamu era olaba video eyo yamukonyemu nga amuyisa bwati wamukonamu Hamilton asikamu emabega. So Verstappen avuga bulungi atuuka maliza in the last lap. Teri yadde akisuubye teri yadde akiraba era it brought a lot of controversies. Paka sawa zino
it's not controversy, it's just the opportunities window is just small as
Mercedes bagenda twala Red Bull batandise okupetitioninga Red Bull aba Max Verstappen nga bagamba it was not a clear win because wakonyemu munnaffe ate n'emipiira gyennyini because batuse ku point nga the person with the fresher tires is the one who's going to take the race. So Lewis Hamilton empiira gye yadde agyetolooza nnyo naye nga ate Verstappen yakakyusa emabega. So weyamukonyemu bwati Lewis Hamilton aluzinga track, Verstappen yagendera ddala avugira ddala akamotoka awangula. Abantu abasinga bagamba eno controversy era Mercedes team eno ey'omwami ono Lewis Hamilton yagenze dda kati ne appealinga mu organization ebatwala so bakakasiza nti no balina okukituulamu naye nga olabira ddala webaba bamaze dda okusalawo it is going to be very impossible for Lewis Hamilton to actually reverse that thing.
But
because it shows you how this season has been Formula 1. It has been exciting, it has been thrilling. You know, a title decider yabadde on the last day. Kitekitanye okubeerawo mu muzannyo guno nti bagenda okutandika prix ez'enjawulo omuli the French Prix ne bagenda mu London Prix we batambula ebibuga ebyo bagenda okutuuka ku kibuga ekisembayo nga it's just an icing on the cake ng'oli yawangula da points naye batuuse ne ku last day nga agenda okuwangula
is leading
agenda okuwangula he has to be decided on that day and Lewis was actually leading Lewis Hamilton naye bamaze ne bakola ki ne bamuyisa. So those things happen. Ndoza mujjukira mu Premier League season ya 2010 Liverpool yali 2012 ya 2012 awo I think no it was 2013-2014 when Manchester City won the title ahead of Liverpool yakulembera table batuuka ku last day Steven Gerrard agenda aserera ali mu kuba yali mu teba goalo ye no in fact aserera but they needed a draw. Liverpool just needed a draw to win the title and they had not won that title from 1990. So their captain Steven Gerrard, who has won them all the titles actually they have most of them not all, ngolaba yatuuka ku lunaku asuula omupiira mu dakiika y'ekyenda agusuula wati aserera bamubbako omupiira ekisajja kigenda kibategula kibatiba baluzinga. So when they lose in the 90th minute kuna Aguero laba wategula n'akuba goolo ndoza mujjukira that celebration he made abanyumirwa omupiira akola celebration eyadduka ajjamu essaati bawangula ekikopo kyabwe ekya Manchester City ekyo. So chikulaga chintino, these things can be decided on the last day, but that is the beauty of sport. You enjoy it up to the last day. You have to have your fingers crossed at the end of the day. Kati Rogers no anyumira Formula 1 game weno. Aleche manyu your team Hamilton.
I am, of course I am.
How did you feel? Max
actually,
a young man like
for some reason I was actually happy for Max. Because you see, first of all, he's a young guy.
Yes, very young.
And he's the first Dutch at that. But winning, this guy had been 7 times world champion.
Yes.
So beating the world champion was just one thing,
yes.
man. It's just.
But you have to beat legally. You don't have to beat.
He did.
It feels
honestly speaking,
it feels like it was like
everything doesn't always have to be a red carpet, you know. So at the end of the day,
you have to beat the system.
It has come. That's come, and I was so happy for Max Verstappen.
Yeah, Max Verstappen, congratulations for the Netherlands guys okuwangula the world champion. Nayo nakulate tugenda kwogera ku omaye mizanyo gibeerayo mingi.
I have a Somali friend who is like a diehard of Lewis Hamilton. She cried yesterday.
Of course.
I was like, yo, this is just a match.
You don't know what sport does. Sport is something that is so amazing. By the way, still speaking about sport, twalabye Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo is proving that whenever his teams need him, he stands up to the occasion. I don't know if it is me, but Cristiano Ronaldo has been scoring the winners for Manchester United in the last, I think, 9 games. Because Wotunulamu, it was to Villarreal, yakuba winning. In fact, tuandikene ku Young Boys in Champions League. Young Boys, watukuwa goal obili kwemu. Ronaldo scored 1 goal. That 1 goal that Manchester United had. Then when you look at, when we were playing Atlanta, he scored the equalizer and then scored the winning as well, the winning goal. When you look at this last game, Norwich, he was there when his team actually needed him, he scored. So when you look at Manchester United and the rest of the league, Ronaldo has proven every day that he's doing great stuff at United. Okuja kombone David De Gea. Kwegamba David De Gea has manned up and Ronaldo, and these guys are old people. Check out bategera business because De Gea yakoze saves into zazade tano inside the box.
Guys have mastered.
De Gea is I don't know, the form is there, the passion. I don't know if Ralph Rangnick yatadde mwene mbera, but you see that these guys are actually playing commercial football. They're playing well. De Gea is saving balls. Ndoza De Gea bagenda tuka baino muita kugwangira Spain bali batanso musula nga batanso mu replacing n'abakipa abenjawulo naye kati with the form that he is bringing up. Manchester United bagenda mulabako naye era weekend eno tiyabadde so fun because twalabe timu ezenjawulo nga omupiira bagujje mu nnyondo. Chelsea yawangulidde ku penalty 2 Jorginho ze yakubye naye nga Leeds yabadde muli bubi. By the way, Leeds yakulembedde Chelsea paka mu dakika y'ekinana
atenga yali Watford yamukuba weekend
yali West Ham yamukuba weekend ewedde. Songola ne Chelsea naye abadde tali bulungi. Jorginho yayambye n'akuba penalty obubiri obwabayisizawo ne bakuba goal 3-2. Then Liverpool naye yawangulidde ku penalty. Omusajja Mohamed Salah yateebe penalty. Steven Gerrard yakomyewo ku Anfield nga ne Aston Villa. Basoose ne banyiga Liverpool era they needed that penalty. You know, even Manchester City won on a penalty. Raheem Sterling naye yakubye penalty. So ngolaba team ezenjawulo zonna they needed penalties to actually go through this weekend. So it was a tight weekend for all teams. The big teams had to actually emerge as champions. Bavude ne bawangula katotwogeranga team ezenjawulo. Manchester City ekyakulembedde, Liverpool neddakaawo, waliwo Chelsea, waliwo West Ham, Manchester United ali mu kyakutaano. N'Arsenal gye bali mu kyamukaaga. Omanya Arsenal tumujjukira bujjukizi bwetu kindiga Arsenal is also still there. So ndoza generally agega mawuli agavaayo mu byemizannyo agaliwo ge tulinawo agamaanyi okujja ku wano mu ggwanga poliisi bagambye mbu tesasula abasambi baayo ate nga twewunya ebitongole weebiti
Police FC not police
Police FC yes so Police FC tesasula basambi baayo era embeera gye balimu sinungi abasambi bali mu kugamba but these are organizations I thought as an institution mukwata sede ne muzibudgetinga ne mugamba mbu since because these teams have been brought as PR, right? Bazitanga PR kubanga zizimba the corporate image for an institution, right? So nga you are so take abasambi bayo sente. KCC esasula bulungi abasambi bayo. Then we have the Uganda police.
And most of those clubs are actually sponsored.
Yes.
That's the funny part.
And no, in fact, they're sponsored by government itself.
It's what I was going to say. I thought it's affiliated to the police, or somehow these guys are...
It is the police, because I was talking to the spokesperson of URA, the Ocheng, he's called Fred Ocheng. So Ocheng was telling me, URA no yo, sente zonna, ne budget y'abasambi, ne budget ya team ya URA, ebera organized by URA as the organization, as the entity. So institution yekwata sente buli season nga zino zo zigenda mu URA. Obaba wangude ekikopo oba tebawangude, because URA was started to build up a corporate image and a better image for URA, the tax collectors, since people don't like to hear about taxes. So bateeka mbuli kyebasobola. URA pays its players by 25th. Toli William Sambi wa URA nga akaba sente. Those people are given transport. They must take a direct to the bank accounts of these young people. They are given match allowances. Buli match je bawangula babawerawo cash there and then. KCCA is the same story. Vipers you acquire ya Mwami Mulindwa, so you can understand. But Uganda Police Force irafa abakyalina zino ebizibu bino. Sometimes it's
just... Government Vipers, you can understand kubanga ya Mulindwa.
And because Mulindwa is a don, so he isn't just
but these are also led by institutions that don't run bankrupt. Where does money go?
Yes, but you know systems in this country. You and me know these systems. There is a lot of stereotypes. So, mu byemizannyo ndooza ebyo byennyini okujja kutogende kola Juliet Nalukenge ali mu Cyprus yakubye hat-trick nga team ye wangula. Juliet Nalukenge yali asambya omupiira gw'abawala ogwa Uganda, naye captain wa Uganda Cranes. So yafuna deal yamufulumya eggwanga n'agenda mu Cyprus okuba omupiira yakubye hat-trick. Kika muno mwana yetu mulabidde ddala mu talent mweri. If that girl goes like this, Nalukenge has the potential to play in the Champions League, the Women's Champions League. She can play in teams like Manchester United. She can play in teams like Chelsea, the female teams. I'm telling you, Juliet Nalukenge era ye yayongedde okubanga making Uganda proud. Kwegamba ndoze ebyemizannyo tetubimazeeyo. Ebyemizannyo era mu abanyumirwa ebyemizannyo.
Kasita twogeddeko ku Formula 1.
Kasita ono yasanyuka because twogedde ku Formula 1. Enemani yo inosanyuka because team ye Rogers. Ndoza we start off the discussion. Twagambye bannaUganda mbu eddakiika ziri bbiri ezakayita ku ssaawa bbiri mu abakatwegattako tuli ku program gye bayita The Mighty Drive. Tubadde twogera ku bibadde bigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga ne wabweru w'eggwanga. Katutandikireko wano Rogers wiki bbiri emabega. Factors zitandise okunuukiriza zigenda mu ssatu. But intern doctors baalaga obutali bumativu bwabwe nga bagamba one bye babasuubiza tebannabibawa. They promised to a salary increment, it has not been given to them up to now. They were promised allowances, they have not been given lunch allowances up to now. So wiki ne batalawo ne bagamba omanyi tugenda kubanga tukola ki? Tugenda kubanga tutulawo ebikola nga twekalakaasa mirembe nga tetugenda kukola paka nga batukoze eki ensako yaffe bagitereezezza. Gavumenti wiki ewedde yalaze embuno yo teyeeguya teyeetaaga bano ba medical intern doctors ne bagamba mubagobe bonna mu malwaliro. Tugenda leeta bye bayise ba pre-medical interns ababa beetegese okufuuka ba medical interns abaana ba student ku universities. Kibadde kibamanyi nti n'abaana bano ba pre-medical interns nabo bagambye tetugenda kubanga tukutujja. So
some Ugandans need to do that.
The Uganda medical system is in a dilemma. Where is the problem? How did we get here?
The problem is the president, to begin with, honestly speaking. Because when he came last time, he told them, you see, we are going to increase salaries, we are going to do this and that, we are going to give you free facilities at the workplaces. You know what he promised them when he met them?
Yeah, he even promised salary increments.
Yes, he promised a lot of things.
He promises a lot of things.
But when they told him to deliver, he kept quiet, and this is what comes out. And of course, Mwebesa is a representative of what is happening in government. For him to come out and say every intern doctor who is out there and is on strike should not just come back to work. We just need new people. He said those who have had arrears that have not been cleared for so long are going to get it when the Minister of Finance delivers the money to the Minister of Health. So him coming out and saying that you guys need to sit home, we have had enough of you, have striked enough, and then expecting other people to come right in that same situation and sit on and say, for us, we are taking on this, it would really be, you know, people would be unserious, Ugandans, honestly speaking. I'm not proud of the strike because a lot of people are going to be losing their lives because of that. You know,
Many people
doctors
are
strike.
losing. I want you to
They are already,
change.
yeah.
They
And more are
losing
going to lose their
lives.
lives the more they strike. So I'm not saying it is a good thing to do. But where the institutions are not respecting the work of the people, those who wake up every day to make sure that these institutions are run, should actually also, you know,
But
they
it
are
feels
people.
like
They are people.
It feels like they are also overdoing it. Mundaba ya abakulu balinga abagamba mbu we are overdoing it.
No, they are not. The problem
Tuli
is
mukisu
abakulu
sa.
tebagala babuuza. They don't want to be asked questions. You see, that's a problem. You want us to be following everything they say. That is what the problem is with abakulu. Bagala, what we say is what you do. But these are people. They are professionals, for God's sake. These people have put in also. They have invested in themselves. So you coming up and saying that you have striked enough because you have not received money. We didn't come here to do charity. Someone went to school, they paid their fees. Parents sold their plots in the villages for these kids to really, you know, be useful in their families. So you coming up and saying that you have striked enough and for that reason we are dismissing you, and then you expect others to come and sit in, it would really be unfair.
Okay, but then why don't we also say the government hasn't? Don't they also have maybe a point, because they're saying the Ministry of Finance is going to release the funding. It is okay, first week working as the funding is being released.
Let me ask you one question. When is the UPDF paid? What is the date for the payment of UPDF? Usually they are paid 25th, 26th, latest 28th of a month.
Yes.
That is like a week in the last week of the month.
Yes, please.
So why is that happening? Where does that money come from that these others cannot get? Priorities. So it shows they are not even prioritizing
but
this
the
institution.
president ordered the Ministry of Finance to release this funding.
And why is it not released?
That is the thing. Sometimes there is policy, you know, government bureaucracy.
So
you
where
have
does
to wait.
bureaucracy go when it comes to paying
But can't the
UPDF?
doctors as well also sit down and wait?
Wait until when?
They said give them-
Let's put it straight.
Yes, please.
You have worked, for example, at Alternative Digital.
Yes.
Or another institution you might be working at. And 8 months down the road, they have not paid you. Would you sit in that same chair and say the same thing that they
No,
should
but
have waited?
8 months is too much. These people have not received salary in like 3 or 4 months. And you guys, we have to also appreciate doctors that this is not just a job.
Yeah.
This is a service.
Yes, it is.
You're serving Ugandans. Ntikatolaba, I can be here, for example, and I'm not paid, right? And I've not been paid for like 3 months or 4. I'm not saying that I'm not paid, but I'm just giving an example. I'm not paid, but because I have people who wake up to see me every day, and they expect to see Edgar Matthew Karuhanga, I'll have to put down my ego and first work.
So let me ask you, Edgar. If you slept hungry...
For the sake of my people.
If you slept hungry last night, would you be here today?
Yes!
Would you?
I'm telling you.
And for how long
Do you
would
think
you do
every
that?
day? Sometimes I'm here when I've not
How long
checked
would you
anything.
do that? You might do it for today because probably you expect something else.
Yes,
Or
really.
there's some way you hope that you're going to be moving. But you have not had supper today and tomorrow. And tell me that on Wednesday you're going to come here on set and have that vigor and talk to the people and give them the news as much as they want. Because you see, the problem is one. A doctor is going to show up, but they're going to do manyanga and people are going to still lose lives because they don't have the motivation. They don't have a reason. Someone is going to come and be like, I am at work, just to show the presence that I'm here. But they're not actually doing the work they're supposed to be doing. So that's the problem. Even when they said that they said that they want to be considerate, that they want to actually come to work, they will come, but they will do ramshackle kind of work.
Where do we leave our patients? Because now we are leaving the victims and siding with other people. Where are the victims in this case, Rogers, today happen?
Who is the government siding with?
No, let us first think.
Auntie, that is where it comes from.
The government is siding with
who?
I don't even see the side.
Exactly.
They're not on the patients, they're not on the side of the doctors. I think they're on their own side. But let us first put, because I want us to look for a point, about patients, because there are people who are suffering. Now, people who can get medication, they will come also affording you know,
in private institutions.
The private institutions and the private hospitals, Muzimani, how expensive they are. So is there a solution that we can come up with as the doctors, as the government, that can maybe prioritize the patients?
And prioritizing the patients, this is a thing. When you see even the government hospitals, most of the times even the facilities are wanting. Medicine most of the times are not there in public hospitals.
Yes.
Surprisingly, ones that are sponsored by the government, which we expect to have resources because every one of us pays taxes, they are the same things that always lack. So the issue is not on the side of the doctors, honestly speaking, it's on the side of government. Government is not prioritizing its people, because if it did, it would be paying doctors, it would be providing those resources that the medical institution needs. The health sector should be a priority, because if you're a leader in Uganda, you're a leader of a country, and the health of the people is not an issue, what are you doing? Because everything depends on health, and every other institution runs on politics. That's a problem. So if you have political leaders who are not providing that will, the service of the people, who are not prioritizing the service of the people, this kind of thing happens. Because if government was prioritizing that thing, honestly speaking, I believe that the doctors would be paid in time. That means the patients would be attended to. But now patients, a lot of people, patients are collateral damages in this.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So being in a war and you're having people dying, but they don't even know.
They're not a part of the issue.
They're not part of the whole issue, yes.
See? So I think the issue is the government, that the attention they give to the security sector. They should
everybody has to bring that out. You know,
because
there is no health facility without security. I want many people have demonized this system.
No, it's not demonizing.
No, I'm telling you, for me, I'm speaking because I'm a journalist, I'm always with people. People have demonized the system here in regard to saying that, you know what, in this system, they only prioritize the security. It's because they are people of the guns. But you cannot live, you cannot be anything. You cannot do anything when security is bad.
That's right.
You get. So sometimes don't demonize it.
But you can also not live if you don't have health.
Yeah, but then you first invest in security, then the health as well. So it will come, health is wealth.
Okay, so let me ask you. You mean security provides health?
No, it aids an environment for good health.
And you mean security can
because with insecurity, people are dying. By the way, when I'm talking about security, there is health security, there is physical security, there's a lot of security. So sometimes let us invest.
I am talking about the security sector. Do not start totally.
Security one of the guns and police and the
that
army.
one, yes.
Yes.
That sector is funded very well. Those guys receive salary.
But police is always crying here that they get meager salaries and sometimes they're not paid on time.
I'm not demonizing security as
you are demonizing the allocation of resources to the security sector.
I'm not demonizing it because they're the ones who do those kind of allocations. So honestly speaking, if you wake up every day, how do you have security guards, what are they called? Soldiers. Can you have soldiers without health? No. You cannot. They need that attention. So honestly, it's also necessary, it's important. Because even the money that you pay to the security comes from the taxes that people pay. So you need to prioritize people to be able to even have security.
No, the government has to prioritize people. That's
the idea, which they are not doing. That's what problem.
What is the solution? Do you think we need to dialogue? Do we need dialogue?
I would say, but I think we have had dialogue. I think what we need is a little bit of patriotism. You see,
patriotism on their side.
On their side, yes.
No, I'm saying on the side of the doctors.
No, on the side of the government. The doctors are there. Honestly, if they have been able to be there for 5 months without pay, how much patriotism is there? There's a proverb in Nyankole, they say, like a lot of thank you. You'll finish yours because you're saying thank you, thank you.
How do we relate that to what
I don't remember the exact flow, but what I'm saying is this. If the medical doctors are going to say that, I am serving, you serve and serve and serve and serve to the point of dying. How much is left to serve?
You're dying as you're serving.
As in service. It's not fair. It's not fair. As much as they also, they need patriotism also, because that is a service and it's a serious issue, especially in the period of the pandemic that we are.
But they also served in that time. We need to also appreciate the doctors, exactly. Because in the war that we have been in, the COVID-19 pandemic war, that we are still in, by the way.
Those guys were at the front lines.
They have been
and they were not
lost
paid.
Their lives.
You can imagine, even if you were in their shoes, if the government would stand in their shoes for a day, they would understand the reason why they are striking.
Then I will
So
ask,
a controversial decision like Mr. Mwebesa made and the Minister of Health, it is so shameful. It's actually a shame.
that is what I was going to say. I was coming to that point that did government in their sane minds have to have that option?
I wonder. I wonder.
My lord.
My lord, I wonder.
My lord,
I just
wonder.
wonder. It doesn't really honestly make sense. Because if you
Yes.
do that kind of, you see, I don't know how to put it exactly, but when you have like leaders who are not really prioritizing service delivery, this is the kind of thing that happens. And when you're not being accountable, the issue is accountability. If you're not being accountable to the people, this kind of issue starts coming up. Yesterday I was saying that they've just signed the bilateral agreement with the government of Congo.
We shall talk about that.
About the joint operation. But they have been here telling Ugandans that there is an agreement, which they have just signed, so it means that it was not here.
By
So
the time the
government
army was
lying to the people.
sanctioned, by the time the army was sanctioned to Congo, they had not signed that.
By the
agreement.
time the strikes happened, they had not
Yes.
signed the bilateral whatever. So it was not a joint operation. They lied to Ugandans, and they've just signed the bilateral agreement. So that is the government we're talking about. If they were prioritizing people, service beyond self, we wouldn't be having this kind
so
of issue.
kiteke mu Luganda ndoza abantu tebannakitegeera ky'oyogedde.
No, it's all okay.
Take
Let me
it
try
in
to put it in
Uganda.
Uganda. Ba signing the bilateral agreement, which was I think on 8th or 10th.
Omwezi guno.
Omwezi guno, yes. Strikes happened I think 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Which was either early this month or late last month.
Yes.
I'm not so conversant with the dates. But what I know is strikes zabeerawo nga tewali bilateral agreement.
Tokijeeyo bulungi.
Baali batuga kyogere mu
Tokijeeyo
Luganda,
bulungi. Omwami ono kyatugamba tuwedde twogera ku y'abasawo naye kati omwami ono alesewo point ate ennungi nti entegeeragana wakati w'amagye ga Uganda n'amagye g'e Congo yakateekebwako omukono okubanga bayiga aba ADF oba abayiikira abali mu ggwanga ery'e Congo nti twagenda ne tulumba ne tuyingira lino eggwanga ekisooka tetwasaba permission ya parliament twakyogerako wano naye ng'ovudde ku butasaba lukusa lwa parliament twali tetusabye na lukusa lwa Congo eri tetwali nabo kwegamba twakola kye twakola operations zonna ze twakola air strikes na biki bye twayingira mu Congo twayingirayo nga ffe bassekinnoomu tewali ntegeeragana eyali fomo wakati waffe ne Congo. Ntegeeragana baagisayinize ennaku 2 emabega.
And it was on the actually I think I should just read it from here.
Yes, read it.
The defense minister and veteran affairs, that gentleman is called Vincent Bamulanze.
Bamulanze,
okay. This guy, accompanied by the delegation from the Ministry of Defense, arrived in DRC on 8th December 2021 at the invitation of Dr. Kabanda. That gentleman is also Gilbert Kabanda. Is also the minister, I think, of defense from the other side. He was the one who invited the government of Uganda, the Minister of Internal Affairs, of Defense, Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs. He's the one who actually invited them to come and sign the agreement.
Wow.
So, okay, we could say probably there was some kind of oral agreement or informal setting that they agreed mutually to do the strikes on the ADF.
Yeah, that must have
possible.
Been. But,
that must have
but
been
the problem is with Uganda,
they are not straight. They are not straight. The government is playing corners, cutting corners with the people. You're here, you're telling Uganda, you see, that is the problem with accountability. You forget that those resources you put in that do that kind of act actually come from the tax of the Ugandans. Those people have even been hit hard by the pandemic.
Ugandans even also know that Ugandans have also decided to bury their heads in the sand. You've seen these things, but Ugandans have never said anything. They feel comfortable.
But you have had the government is a representative of the people, and the government is already skipped. It was skipped. It wasn't informed on the decisions that happened.
That's what I'm saying, and now it's still business as usual. Don't we have a problem as well as a people? Because we also feel okay if we're not accounted to. That's why.
What should we
do? You have to do some sign petitions, say anything. I don't know. Protest. I don't know anything. But Ugandans have deliberately shown that they are okay with being, marginalized.
Oh, they are fed up.
Fed up, and you just leave someone to do everything.
It's not a right thing, but What should we do?
So let's first go
I
back.
think what we should also do is to just sensitize the people so that it is your right to demand accountability. That government is serving the people, not the other way around.
Yes, it's
so
not
we are not
serving.
here. We are not here to just be providing resources and that is it.
Yes,
we should be demanding accountability for where our resources go. So that is what we should be talking to the people. But when government keeps doing the same thing over and over, service delivery is neglected and people are suffering the consequences of those.
Yes, definitely. But let's first go back to the story of the medical interns who are on strike, and they said the pre-medical interns now are going to kubanga begattako paka ng'ebizibu bya bannaabwe. But the government is actually so funny. Some things they do and you feel like they've not thought about them very well. These people who are fighting, the medical interpreters who are demonstrating for the future generation. It's just automatic. And
for all institutions, they are setting examples.
Ate wetugezaako kubayamba ate ne mubuusaffe ate ne mugenda kubali nti mwe mujje mwe ebizibu by'abano tebibakwatako. But it's literally the same thing. I thought they would just see it, that it's going to happen, it's inevitable. The pre-medical interns could not accept to come.
You just said Ugandans are not, they are not standing up. No, I think they are sending their message now.
Because this is how things should be done.
We cannot be like we are here and someone is going to come and assault you and call me a friend. Hello, hi. Because honestly speaking, you don't expect me to come like smiling after you have done something wrong on another person, my friend.
Yes,
that's just the idea. So it's, but with because honestly speaking, you can't expel someone and you expect their colleague in the same profession
to come
and comply with your colleague.
It's just a paradox. So maybe as we finish this story, I want you to just paint a picture. What next? What do you think should be done by the government and the medical interns as well to see that this strike comes to an end and we start on a fresh plate and also help the people of Uganda?
I think what we need to do is we need to sit down. The ministry itself with its intern doctors.
Yes.
And paint a picture for them. Tell them, you see, this is what is happening. We have the pandemic going.
Yes.
We have had, budgets cut because we have to cater for the pandemic. And probably that's a reason why the areas are taking, a long time to come up. So that they understand. Not just messages that come, you go in front of the TV to please the country and talk, you see, it's coming up anytime soon, it's coming, so please be patient. And then they are patient this month, next month, another month, 4 months,
patient.
Even patience wears out. So I think what we need is for the ministry to actually sit with the people, not just push them away. The decision was very wrong. You don't wake up one day and say, people who have stood there amidst the pandemic have saved people's lives. And then you come and tell them that, you see, we don't need you anymore. It's not fair, honestly speaking. Okay. And honestly, that gentleman, Mwebesa, I don't really think he has put himself in the shoes of those intern doctors.
Okay.
Until we know the solution, I mean the situation they are in, we can start judging. Other than that, I think they should come on a round table. I think the government should also deliver on its end. The president promised. I don't know why he doesn't deliver, which is why people are losing hope. And I believe it's the reason why they are striking. Because it was probably, if the government would be coming through with these promises, these guys wouldn't be continuing. But they had the press conference like today, and they agreed that they are going to go back to work. The next day they said, we are not going until our promises are fulfilled.
Yes.
So it also shows that people have lost hope. They don't believe in their leaders anymore, which is very fatal, very, very wrong. So I think
if
your people do not believe in you, it means you're not doing your job because you're supposed to be serving them. So it means they don't really,
care.
Yeah.
Okay. At just 25 minutes past 8 a.m., you are still watching the Mighty Drive show. My name is Karuhanga Edgar Matthew. I'm in the proud company of Mr. Rogers Turiahabwe, who is a lawyer and, of course, he's a journalist as well. And he has joined me in this edition. We are supposed to be with Miss Nana Mwafrika and Kaka Izerida, but unfortunately, they were not able to make it today, but they will be making it next Monday. You'll be seeing them. But today, we decided why not let the young people also take on the matter and also discuss how better we can make our country Uganda. Feel free to also call in live. The numbers will be rolling on your screen. So feel free to just call in live and tell me what you think about the week that we are starting, and maybe what are some of your insights for this particular week, what are some of your expectations, and anything. Feel free to just call in live. The numbers will be rolling on your screen here. 0759 132310 and 0789 017-145. Those numbers will be rolling on your screen. So feel free to call in live or to nyumizeko kuchichi ekigenda mu maaso eyo yonna gy'otulabidde olunaku olwaleero. Rogers Tulyahabwe, wiki awedde, the President of the Republic of Uganda came out to say that the people who steal from us, the corrupt officials, actually invest the money here in Uganda. Literally meaning, opatubalekemu kubanga ekintu babba nitibatuwala bazza wanewaka nazimba apartments n'ogenda n'ogipangisa mwabalina ku ssente ne mpangisa apartments za milioni ne milioni, oba ne bazimba hotel ne mugenda ne musulamu. It was this a green light for corrupt officials to continue stealing from Ugandans? Rogers, I want to pick your mind on that story. He
said, we are lucky.
We are lucky.
that our corrupt officials keep their money here.
Mr. President, I'm sorry for laughing. But there are some things that I will always lose to make sense of, Rogers. That's the truth. Sometimes a sitting president, you know these guys are stealing, and you even know well that they are investing the things they are stealing in the country, and you say, we are lucky to have thieves. I want to pick your mind on this, because really, I cannot understand.
I wonder. But you see, here is the thing. It's honestly a shame. It should be coming from another person, not the president.
Not the president.
You can't say we are lucky that thieves are keeping their money here. Do you know how long the United Arab Emirates took to develop? It was about 30 years.
Yeah.
In 30 years, they moved from the third
world to a first world.
30 years, same time.
That is the most terrific speed we have seen, I think, in a country reach that horizon.
It's same time, if not less time,
than President
Museveni has
I'm
been
telling
as a
you,
leader of
by
this country.
1990, Arab or UAE was the same rate as Uganda. UAE was the same rate as Uganda. 35 years down the road, Uganda is still the same rate as it was.
It's actually going down instead of
No, it's not going down.
It is.
Trust me.
It is.
I've toured this country and I've realized that at least one thing that this government has done is try to construct
How
the main
big is
roads.
your economy?
It might not be that big.
What determines the GDP?
It's the economy, the GDP per capital ratio. Each individual, how much do they earn? Now, I'm saying like growth in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the country growing, okay, not the people. Because, you know, Uganda, I don't know what's wrong, but we don't look at the people's development. Uganda, yensi, eta monitoringa, ediga, afuna meka, akula nyatya. United States sebera wakati mawanga ngagwade tuwe comparinga kwa mawanga na ikali. US buli muntu wayo ba making sure no, at least there is a minimum standard the way he lives, right? That omwavu waabwe tagenda ate kubeera mu nkuseerenga ffe wano osanga omwavu n'ekyokulya abatayina ne sente ezigula amazzi abatagalina, you get? But at least a poor person will have the basic needs, so they've prioritized the growth of an individual. Chovola mambuye GDP per capital ratio yabwe ebeera nnungi nti ojja kusanga nga at least omuntu afuna ekikala ng'omutwalo gwa dola eya,
because they utilize the national revenue. Yeah. When people pay their taxes, they make sure those services are delivered to them. That is putting the country before self. And you know why that happens?
No.
Because corruption is not promoted.
Tebagikiriza.
And we have our Uganda, where the head of state will come and say, we are very lucky. Very particularly lucky that they are keeping their money here.
That
That
they're
is Uganda
stealing.
for you.
The good
So
thing
I
they're
think-
stealing, but they're not
I think
stealing.
the issue is we just need to look at our institutions, look at institution building, and leave the idea of and you see where it also comes from is the mode of appointment some of the leaders, because you realize even the president himself appoints his people. And that is how it happens, because he knows someone is heading an institution, but then even when they steal, you saw the Musenero saga a few weeks ago.
Yeah, the one,
if
the
not
rat,
last
the
month.
rats of 8 million.
The mouse.
The mouse.
Mouse of 8 million. But Musenero, when people started asking him her questions, the president came and said, leave my Musenero.
Leave my daughter.
And that is what happens. That is promoting
yes,
corruption.
even IGG, the last IGG you had, Mulyagonja,
Yes.
came out to say clearly, President Ogenda Kungoba kumulimu gwangu gwa IGG. But every time I go for the big guns, I always find them behind you. Ngaka president abantu abatubba buli ngezako banonyereza basanga bakwese mabegawo kati na sobola kukola kigwa mpo mulimu kati basobola ku bakugambe kulyaza manyo bakuswaza.
So I think what we need is generally we need to over publicize.
No, but president aweddemu amaanyi.
President amaanyi agakola ki?
Amaanyi agakulembera, because if you can condone that in broad daylight, okay, it's not condoning, but it's practically condoning in the same way.
He would be. I wouldn't say aweddemu amaanyi. He's just not doing what he's supposed to do, honestly speaking. Now the card is playing is loyalty. How loyal are you to me that I am going to give you a position? If you're loyal, you get the big cake, you get to the big table. If you're not, may God bless you.
But I think he also needs to work with loyalty now. When you entrench in leadership for a long time, isn't that what happens?
That's
because now you reach a point that mutuuka nogamba kati kino ekintu kyaffe neetaaga bagenda kikontaininga
lwaki kifuuka kyammwe
tekirina tuyiikako because kyaki kisusse it has been there for a long time, so kiba kifuuse kyammwe.
But it shouldn't.
When you are in power for a long time, you tend to think that you're supposed to be there.
So the solution appears to be one.
What?
Change of leadership. Because we need fresh perspective.
That is why he's bringing loyalty.
But that is not changing leadership.
I'm saying that's why he's bringing loyal people to avoid the change of guard.
But it eventually happens sooner or later. Yeah. So it's just postponing the problem.
At least
it's
later.
Like doctors. Kubagoba, you're not solving the problem, you're postponing it. It will still happen. Because the new ones you'll bring will eventually strike because you won't pay them.
Do we like to just do quick fixes as a country?
I think just what we need to do is we have personalized national institutions. Things have happened with, I am doing this because my boss is my friend. And chances are they are the ones who got me. I didn't apply for this job. They got me, so they need me. I don't as much need them. Well, you probably need them because you're also benefiting. But you're not threatened like someone who competently got that position. So I think what we need is to let the institutions independently run. That when someone is asked questions, they should be accountable. I was hearing this gentleman, Minister Kasaija, he was saying he's tired of people calling him Mr. Borrowing. Because for some reason, every 2 weeks he's pushed to sign a borrowing,
agreement.
I want to read it. Let me just read it the way it said. Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Basia Kasaija, has expressed concern over the increase in external borrowing. Okay, he expressed concern over increase in external borrowing, which he said is taking a toll on service delivery. And then he said the minister made the remarks while officiating at Uganda Revenue Authority Taxpayers Appreciation Award Gala, where 40 most compliant taxpayers were recognized. And then he said, Kasaija urged URA to widen the tax base and increase the tax to GDP ratio.
Which is true.
Adding that the body's urgent task at hand is increasing the GDP ratio from the current 13% to at least 20%.
Yes.
And he also said, I am not proud to be a borrower. And these days in Parliament, they call me Minister of Borrowing. Because every 2 weeks, I am forced to go to Cabinet to seek permission to borrow.
Yes. That is true. Very, very true. Omami, the good thing today has been assertive as possible. He's spoken the truth.
He said it. He is forced to borrow. Every 2 weeks. You know what that means? Every time we are borrowing.
No, but you
and
guys...
here is the problem. Actually, yesterday we were talking with some gentlemen, they were saying, people are not actually that poor. People are poor people are there. But the country is not really poor. The only problem is that our taxes are being mismanaged. If the taxes were put to use as they should be, we wouldn't be having those whole issues of borrowing every now and then. Because services would be delivered as
no, but you think about that, but I'm also thinking about a perspective that when you look at our tax base, it's also minimal. It is marginalized.
How?
Abantu abasasulwe musolo batono, Rogers. Now, let me tell you, taxes, people who pay taxes are few. I want you to appreciate. Now, 67% of Ugandans are agriculturalists, they are farmers. And in this country, farmers are not taxed. Because one thing, agriculture is the backbone of what? Of this country, which is okay, which is well. But then that brings a tax burden to people like me and you who are being taxed.
Farmers produce products, right?
Yes.
Are those products free of tax?
They are rarely taxed. I'm telling you.
They are taxed. The tax is just low.
The tax, and that's what I was going to tell you. The tax they take because it's like their biggest export. Right? It's the biggest product we have. So we cannot overtax it like that. But what am I saying? Look at the Ministry of Finance. Matia Kaseja has told you how many taxes do they get? No, how much tax is got from the northern part of this country?
I am not.
Which is the biggest part of this country. Districts like Nebi, Lera, Aleptong, Arua, Kitugums, Pakwachi, all those districts. There are no taxes coming in from that side. How much taxes are coming in from the western part?
It still doesn't mean that which we have we should mismanage.
No, mismanagement is there. For me, I'm trying to justify the borrowing as well.
No.
Because as a country, you need to reach afloat, to continue being afloat. So the thing is, sometimes you're going to need those taxes. Edgar, there is no country that develops without taxes.
The problem is this. When you're borrowing, do you have a plan?
Yes, there's always a borrowing plan.
There should be a plan.
Yes.
Should the plan be that when this money is done, we should go back and borrow?
But
isn't that what we do?
You guys,
we borrow money to get done and we go back and borrow now.
It's the biggest country in this world. The superpower. But it also has magnitudes of loans.
And you know why they have
magnitudes of loans?
It has magnitudes of loans because it's stakeholders in
the
international institutions that are actually borrowing. It's a part of the IMF and
yes, I know, but they're still borrowing. The common word is borrowing.
We don't get at the same rate as the US.
Yes, definitely, because the others are big guns. But what I'm saying is this. Sometimes, muleke kuridicuinga Kaseja, when Kaseja gets
no, we are not ridiculing.
You are ridiculing him because of borrowing.
No, they are.
But if Matia did not borrow, I'm telling you, this economy would also fall.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
We would flip as well. So we also need to have a Kaseja borrowing for us money. Because in Babuli, emisolo jemusa sula mwenga abantu siminji. First of all, batandika indirect taxes. So what they do is they tax your business instead of taxing you directly. They will tax the fuel pump where you're buying the fuel. So it's indirect. And that means we're in an economy where the people set their own pricing that are determined by the taxes they get, they are levied on. So at the end of the day, emisolo ejiba mitono ogenda kwetaaga ate sente okusigala ng'oli mugenda maaso operations. That is why you'll have to run to China, you'll have to run to IMF, you'll run to World Bank.
And that is why eventually you lose your country too. You have seen that happen in Africa. You have even mentioned it here at the Mighty Drive.
But we have never lost any property to any country. Though.
We are about to.
Yet.
Yes, we have not. But
not yet.
It will happen.
It can happen.
Here is a thing, Edgar. I am not saying borrowing is bad. It is bad. But I'm not saying we cannot avoid borrowing. Because we cannot avoid borrowing. What I am saying is that as we borrow, we should have a plan. That when we are borrowing $1 billion, let's say, we have that sustainability plan. That when the money is running out, when we have this, we say we have probably borrowed and this should run for like 5 years. For the 5 years, plan how sustainability is going to happen.
Okay.
It shouldn't be that when the 5 years are done, this time we have gotten from China, we shall go to the US.
Okay.
When the US is done, we shall go to the IMF. And we are just in circles of borrowing. That is the problem. Because then, what are we doing? We are selling the economy as it is.
Yes.
And because every time you overborrow, your value goes down.
Yes.
You are undervalued. So, and the economy will not develop if your value is not increasing. So the problem is that we don't plan.
Okay.
The problem is not that we borrow. We should be borrowing, but if we planned, we wouldn't be borrowing at the same rate as we are doing. Okay. You can imagine this gentleman is forced every 2 weeks, that is twice every month, to go and sign permissions to do the borrowing. It's very wrong.
Okay, let me first go through some of the comments, and maybe you also have to comment on these comments. There is one called Nabukera Teditenjo. Thank you for watching. She says, about corruption, I feel like Museveni Abivako being a leader of Uganda. That is Teditenjo for you. But sometimes you feel like it's true. To some extent it's true.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You cannot be there and you're in front of camera and everybody and you're like, it's okay to do
like
that.
We have, what is that?
Yeah.
We have thieves at home. Like they are staying here.
Things are staying here. Nache Unerita says, I had PS Atwine belittling our brothers and sisters over what they deserve and entitled to because she can access national comforts. She doesn't even mind whether they are suffering or lamenting. What a shame. Thank you, Nachaine Rita.
It is a shame. Rita, I agree with you. It is really a shame.
And then Ted says, Edgar Matthew Karuhanga, how long should they wait? These guys have been striking for almost a year or even more. The funds are still being released for a year. Come on. It's not like they just started striking. No wonder those people give us attitude when we go to the hospital because they are no good. Point noted. That is a very correct point. Very valid point.
They are right.
These people, they are always angry over something, and you wonder why you're angry. But they're just angry. Naturally, our doctors.
They are not given lunch allowances. They are not given transport.
And they work from morning
and they are the same people who you expect to be every now and then. You'll get a headache here, killing you. And you go to a hospital and the guy is looking at you like,
go over there. You know, one time I went to Mulago Hospital, the one where they give birth from, Kawempe, and the woman was wailing there, and the doctors are like, Okabia Kajanja. Like everybody is there on their own, but a woman is ushering life to this world. But the doctors have the courtesy of saying, Okabia Kajanja. Yet,
they have probably seen worse.
That's the thing. They've seen it a lot of times as it becomes normal. You know, when you've seen blood a lot of time, or you've seen suffering, or that kind of, terror, you get used to it. You feel like it's normal. It's normal when this one is crying when she's giving birth. But it is not normal because every individual has their own pain. There is a way they feel that pain. So, then we have Nache Unerita. Uganda is very funny. Full figure kusasira butcherman drive movement fueled monster vehicles, doctors and teachers on foot. MPs are tax exempted, whereas a doctor pays taxes on their allowances.
You can imagine.
M7 promises to enhance and promote sciences, but again, doctors are treated like wild dogs. What a shame. Nache Une has a lot of diction. She continues to say, government has failed to fulfill her promises to the doctors, and now they are doing what Baganda call ensonyi kuzifuula busungu,
you got it.
Which won't help us a country. Many of our doctors are leaving the country due to bad policies. Museveni only minds about security and defense, but not anything that helps Ugandans because his family doesn't use anything Ugandan.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's a point.
That's what you're saying.
That's a hard point, in fact, between the lines. The people, the beneficiaries of these resources are Ugandans. Most of the people who are making the policies are not beneficiaries of those things. So somehow theirs are extended. Now imagine the same policies you're doing here were done in countries that you go to.
What would happen?
What would happen? So she's right.
Okay.
I think she's very right.
Brooke Williams, thank you for always watching, Brooke, and always and commenting. He says, giving musicians 7.7 billion and fail to pay medical workers, Kaguta for you. Nabukera Teditenjo. Then solution for the problem of Ugandans is kwerwanako. That is what Brooke is saying. Kwerwanako. Ethiopia chechiba chidda wano.
Striking ndoza jagamba.
Striking. You are feeling.
Yeah,
And they don't joke. And I was telling you here that 50 died, but nobody has been apprehended even up to now. And it's a year down the road. Luwede says the government needs to address the issues leading to doctors' strike. If not, we are going to see again the same things happening again and again. Then Brooke continues to say, security people are poorly paid. It's Saleh, Muhozi and Kaguta taking all the money. Man, that is a very big allegation.
We need facts
that it is Saleh, Muhozi and Kaguta.
No, if it's not allegation, just give us the facts.
Give us the facts, Brooke. Yeah. Brooke, when you have, if you have the facts.
If it's right, just give us the facts.
Two facts. Then he says only top few people in security are highly paid. Only top few people in security highly paid and have opportunity to steal. That is Mr. Brooke Williams for you. Then we have also Titus Joram just in right now. He says Uganda has become one man's project and he thinks that without him the project won't exist. That's why he doesn't want to go. It's a one-man project. Do you agree with Mr. Titus Joram?
I don't want to agree because he's not alone. He has his people
that are agreeing with him,
that are helping him do his business.
Hey. Okay, I think those are some of the comments that I will read today. Maybe Rogers, to just speak your mind as we come to the end of the discussion.
I wanted to also mention,
it's okay.
I don't know if you gave it in the updates, about the UPDF and Congolese. They revealed that they have captured 34 ADF soldiers.
I did not mention
during the airstrikes. Okay, let me just read the whole of it. UPDF and Congolese troops revealed that they captured 34 ADF soldiers during the airstrikes and artillery launched on November 30th. That was last month, against the ISIS-linked that rebel group. It was revealed in a joint statement released on Saturday by the UPDF spokesperson, Brigadier General Flavia Bekwaso, and the spokesperson of the Army of Congo, Major Kasonga Chibanju Leon Richard. The statement further indicates that 31 Congolese hostages were released, while 4 enemy camps were destroyed during the operation codenamed Operation Shuja. Yeah, the two forces bring to the attention of the opinion that the preliminary results of the airstrikes and artillery of November, that airstrike you saw, had 32 Congolese hostages relieved, 34 ADF terrorists captured, and 4 enemy camps destroyed. Yeah, I think they were providing the updates on what happened with that strike.
How many died?
They didn't provide the whatevers of who those.
But why don't they?
They just they captured.
I have a problem with you.
They said they captured 34.
You cannot capture without killing. If you capture 34, then there are various numbers. There's a problem we have with the security operatives of this country. They rarely want to give us accountability in terms of numbers of most of the most vital issues. You are in war right now. Tell us the numbers of people that you have killed. Because those people are Ugandans at the end of the day. Even if they're rebels, they're entitled to just being, to be remembered, because you cannot just...
remembered for being terrorists?
No, for being Ugandans. You just have to account to the country that you have killed these and these people.
Are those rebels, all of them are Ugandans?
Yes, most of them are Ugandans. They speak... Don't you know the Jamiru Mukulu? They're Ugandans from here just because they ran and they started hiding in the jungles of Congo.
Okay, I think probably they'll provide those updates. I hope they do.
They do, because they rarely do. They rarely provide updates. They just give you formal information.
Yeah. I don't know. There was reshuffles also. For the
Maybe let us go through the reshuffles. Let me read some of the reshuffles in the ambassadorship. The ambassador to Burundi is Major General Matayo Chalegonza. He has been. Rome, ambassador to Rome is Ambassador Elizabeth Nyapeyok. In Washington, we have Mrs. Robi Kakonge. In Copenhagen, Denmark, we have Margaret Bachira. In Dar es Salaam, we have retired Colonel Fred Mwesije. In Khartoum, we have Dr. Yahya Rashid Semudu. In Paris, we have Miss Amule Dorin. In Kigali, we have Major General Robert Rusoke. We have, in New York, we have Ambassador Adonia Yebare.
He's a special envoy to the United Nations.
Yes. Then Algiers is Ambassador Alintuma Nsambu. New Delhi, you have Ambassador Joyce Kikafunda. Then number 12 is Canberra. In Canberra, we have Ambassador Dorothy Huya. In London, we have Ambassador Nimisha Madvani. Then in Berlin, we have Ambassador Mubiru Steven. In Ankara, we have Mrs. Nusura Tiperu. In Kuala Lumpur, we have Miss Betty Gombe. In Brussels, we have Ambassador Miriam Black. In Moscow, we have Mr. Moses Kizige. In Abu Dhabi, we have Ambassador Zake Kibedi. In Mogadishu, we have Professor Sam Turiamuhika. Then Abuja, we have Ambassador Nelson Ochenga. In Addis Ababa, we have Ambassador Rebecca Otengo. In Ottawa, we have Ambassador Ruth Acheng. Then in Cairo, we have Ambassador Sam Malem Sebulime. In Kinshasa, we have Haj Fred Kalisa. In Juba, we have Ambassador Ronnie Balia. In Doha, we have Ambassador Stephen Chebrot. In Tehran, we have Ambassador Kisambira Tezikuba Mohammedi. In Riyadh, we have Ambassador Isaac Sebulime. In Nairobi, we have Ambassador Dr. Hassan Galiwango. In Beijing, we have Ambassador Oliver Woneka. In Geneva, we have Ambassador Marcel Arati Valeka. In Tokyo, we have Mrs. Tofas Biajira Kahwa. In Pretoria, we have Mr. Amoru Paul. In Luanda, we have retired Colonel Julius Kihanda. In Ganzu, we have Nsababera Edith. And in Havana, we have Mrs. Musazi Nabaka Elizabeth. Ndoza bezo reshuffles ezimu ku ezakoledwa president w'eggwanga lino Yoweri Kaguta Tibuhaburwa Museveni Rogers. Tumalize show olunaku olwaleero siibula kubakulabye leero, and maybe you just give them a word or two that maybe they can move with throughout the week.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank you, all of you who have been watching the Mighty Drive. We don't take your presence for granted, because every time and again, whenever we are here, you're also providing opinions. You're providing solutions on how things should be done. And we hope that it gets to those that are concerned. So we thank you for being here. We thank you for always keeping it alternative. And we thank you for keeping us here, because we wouldn't be here if you were there, weren't there. Yeah. So for my message for today, first of all, I want to say,
for a whole week that
before I forget, yesterday was Lillian Luwede's birthday.
Hey!
You know Lillian Luwede. Edgar is probably going to sing a happy birthday for her.
Luwede. Lillian is the most loved show host on the digital here. Okay. According to where I go.
So we are going to sing a little bit.
We shall sing for her.
Yes. My remarks are that for the doctors that are striking, I hope that the government really looks on the issue, because this is affecting Uganda, and it's not just the interns that are striking. So I hope that the government takes people as a priority this time, not themselves. And I hope that we also see corruption for what it is. The country shouldn't just be happy that corrupt people are here. We need those resources. Those resources should be benefiting us, not the people because they are keeping it here. When they keep it here, we don't get services for free. We still pay for them. Someone is going to build a hotel and we are going to pay to live there. They don't provide them for free. So I hope that we fight corruption for what it is, not just applauding people for keeping their corrupt money here. I think we need to be patriotic a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kale,
so before we
so
conclude, we are going to sing.
Yeah, we are going to sing. We are doing that. Let me first conclude, then we sing for Miss Lillian Luwede. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching The Drive today. It has been an honor having you in this edition of the Mighty Drive. Remember, every Monday to Friday, we are always here from 7 to 9. Sometimes it is me, sometimes it is Farida, sometimes it's Rogers, sometimes it is Lillian Luwede as well. And of course, sometimes you can come here together. And why not? Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday was Lillian's birthday. Allow me sing for her a good song. You, the best gentleman, you start.
The best doesn't start.
Doesn't start, okay. Happy birthday
what
to
is your sound? What is that called?
What now?
You're not even sure. At least I'm sure.
Let's sing the song, Manage. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lillian Luwede, Princess Omumbeja. Happy birthday to you. This is the Mighty Drive.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching the Mighty Drive.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.